All right, qualifying is over. It's time for the drivers to line up and go racing. Up front will be Avery Walker and Jason Wahlberg. Giancarlo and Nick Sorensen on the second row. Joel Wraith and Adam Barker on the third row. Scott Nalawi and Yuho have the fourth row. Mike Dulling and Simon Zierk round out the top 10. Ed Schiller and Mike Marshall, 11th and 12th. 13th will be Julian Ricardo. Kevin Langieri is 14th. 15th is McMullet McCready and Dylan Steinbach in 16th. Brian LaRue is 17th. Ronnie Wimberly in 18th. Worth noting that we'll be showing them later, but there are some new nicknames in the field today. Hey, good morning, David. Yeah, I am hoping Adam continues his march. He definitely has had a much better season, a lot better luck, and hopefully that will continue here. All the drivers getting lined up, waiting on 3 of them right now. Nope, just down to 1. Worth reminding, no longer the 1-hour races. They'll be doing 2 30-minute short races. The top 7 from this race will be inverted for the second race. Has made for a lot more aggression on track, has made for a lot more excitement on track as well. Looks like Ronnie Wimberly does not make the grid, so he'll be starting from pit road. As they come out of the final straightaway, Spa 4.35 miles, 19 turns, a variety of turns from high-speed corners to extremely slow corners. A lot of technical driving, especially the second half of the track. Points leader Giancarlo on the second row. Adam Barker second in points on the third row. That's going to be an epic battle all season long. They're down and away. Green flag is in the air. Avery Walker leads them down to turn 1. This could tell the tale. Turn 1 at Spa, always full of excitement. Looks like most of the group is going to make it through. A couple of drivers going a little bit wide, playing it safe early on here. Down the front straightaway, Avery still in the lead. Wahlberg and Giancarlo get together coming down the hill. Oh, Adam Barker's around. Adam Barker went hard into the wall. We'll take a look at it in just a second, but obviously race number 1 not going to be his race. Meanwhile, it looks like Jason Wahlberg may have taken damage from that earlier incident. Lap 1 has proven to be fatal for some of the drivers. Wahlberg's going around right in front of McCready. Oh, we've got a couple of cars getting together. Kevin Langieri is there. Dylan Steinbach. Avery Walker out front. Giancarlo in second. Let's back up and take a look first at Adam Barker's incident. Oh, just gets loose coming up the hill. Almost had it saved, but backs it hard into the wall. Now, let's see where this all started with Jason Wahlberg. Nope, this was... Wahlberg trying to slow things down, gets loose, coming through there, and Kevin Langieri, several drivers just have nowhere to go. There's been more excitement since then. Wahlberg now on pit road. Ed Schiller went off track. There's Ed in the Ferrari. He gets loose off the turn into that inside wall extremely hard, and a lot of vehicles already having problems early. Avery Walker out front though. Trying to see if we can dial up the replay of Wahlberg coming up the hill. Down through turn one, and let's watch this closely. This is lap one as Wahlberg and Giancarlo battle it out down the hill. They get to the bottom of the hill and tried to occupy the same real estate. They did bump in the middle of the turn, back up the hill, and it looks like Wahlberg just started slowing down, but I don't see any obvious damage, but obviously something was wrong with the car after that bump. Back up with the leaders as a lot of cars have been to pit road. Adam Barker, Brian LaRue, Kevin Langieri, all have gone to pit road and been back out for repairs. David, I have to agree, the format in the racing has been awesome. Avery Walker now has almost 1 second over Giancarlo. Joel Wraith, who we mentioned in pre-race, has been marching his way toward the front in the last few races, now up into third. Nick Sorensen now in fourth. Nick is one that has been quietly sneaking his way up through fields a lot recently. Scott Nalawi now in fifth. Yuho in sixth. That Mercedes. It was such a surprise seeing Yuho in the Mercedes this morning. He goes a bit wide there. Obviously taking advantage of Spa's long straightaways and the power in the Merc, but sections like this through the chicane are a bit harder in that Mercedes. Mike Dalling back in seventh. Julian Ricardo is eighth. And look at this. McMullet has made his way up into ninth with Simon Zierk in 10th. I'll have to confirm this real quick, but it looks like Eric McMullet McCready is the biggest mover of the race so far. Started in 15th up to 9th. Meanwhile, up front, Avery Walker still sending it. The battle is really on for second place, though. Joel Wraith right there on the back bumper. He drops down to the inside. He's got a run on Giancarlo. Oh, that almost touched. I don't think they could have gotten it. And now look at this. Sorensen all over the back bumper of Giancarlo. Giancarlo having a rough start to the day. Not as rough as some, but not what we're used to seeing out of that car. Meanwhile, last lap, Avery Walker ran the fastest lap so far. Avery definitely looking for the sweep here again. Hasn't been able to. Oh, Adam Barker has had more problems. Down through turn one. Just a bit wide. Pushed it a little too hard. Down the hill. Let's see if he had any further issue here. Nope, perfectly up the hill this time. Looked like the back end was trying to twitch out on the Audi, but he managed to hold on to it. Avery Walker down through the chicane to complete his third lap. And even faster that time. He was a 100th of a second faster than his previous lap. and pulling away from Joel Wraith, Giancarlo, and Nick Sorensen. Avery's lead now 2.25 seconds. The battling going on behind is definitely helping him out here. Second, third, and fourth, still nose to tail. Nick Sorensen still in the mix. And look at this. Yuho has continued his march forward. Started in 8th, up to 5th. He is right at 2 seconds behind the pack in front of him, and he is gaining on him. Somehow making that Mercedes turn really, really well for a car that is not known for being great at turning, but he has taken advantage of the power. And look at how much Yuho has pulled up now. He is caught up to the back bumper of Joel Wraith. Let's see how Giancarlo got by Joel and see if maybe that is why Joel was so slow. Oh, looks like he made a mistake coming through the chicane, went too wide off the turn, possibly got a slowdown there. Back down the hill, Giancarlo's still behind. Joel looked a little twitchy coming up the hill there. Giancarlo now in second, Nick Sorensen in third. Simon Zierk has crashed. Oh, down, try it. Just got the angle wrong into the chicane, hard into the outside wall. Avery Walker still out front. Hey, good morning, Russell. Worth noting, Ronnie Wimberly did not take the track at all. We knew he didn't grid, but he has not came out on track. Nick Sorensen is now up to second. He has gotten past Giancarlo. Giancarlo back to third. Yuho now up into fourth and moving toward the front very quickly. He's now 2 seconds behind Giancarlo and gaining on him. Yuho has not had a win yet this season. Unusual for Yuho, but today could be the day. Down through turn one goes Avery Walker. Sorensen and Giancarlo still battling it out and losing time. Meanwhile, Yuho is now gaining on the third and fourth place car. Joel Wraith still staying in his tire tracks. Julian Ricardo, Scott Nalawi right behind as well. All three of the Lambos are in the top 7. Right now, that seems to be the most dominant car. But Avery Walker in the Audi continues his march away up front. Now 3.3 seconds. Avery has had some really, really good runs here recently and been able to pull away. Could this be a situation where Avery Walker starts making his way forward in the points? If Giancarlo fades even a little bit, anybody could strike. And with Adam Barker second in points coming into this week, if Giancarlo stumbles, if Barker stumbles, doesn't recover, it could tighten the points up going into next week. Speaking of Adam Barker, after that lap 1 incident, he is currently in 13th place, has made up quite a few spots, continuing to march his way forward. He's currently 5 seconds behind Mike Marshall and gaining, actually 5.1, and gaining very quickly on Mike Marshall. Yuho losing a little bit of ground here. He is now 2.1 seconds behind Giancarlo after gaining to within 1.8 seconds. Scott Nalawi hanging on back in 7th place. Mike Dolling in 8th. McCready in 9th still. And Dylan Steinbach has 10th. Dylan's another one who's picked up a lot of positions. He started in 16th, up in 10th place now, continuing his march forward. Looks like the Ferraris did not qualify very well, but they have made a lot of ground up, as Julian Ricardo started in 13th and is now up into 6th. Nick Sorensen qualified 4th and now in 2nd. Yes, Adam Barker, you know what? We've got the new nicknames today. Let's show a couple of them off. And I have to have a talk with Avery because you always capitalize Texas. Avery Walker, obviously his usual nickname. Giancarlo has a new nickname this week. Hollywood, because he gets up in the top 3 and gets the most interviews. Yuho is still the Slayer after winning not last season but the season before. Avery Walker is in the wall. Oh, gets on the brakes and just doesn't turn. Have to wonder if something happened there. Mike Marshall has crashed. Just gets loose, manages to get it going before any other car gets to him. So Avery Walker out of race 1, or at least out of contention, moves Nick Sorensen up to the lead. Hollywood now up into 2nd. Yuho now into 3rd. Julian Ricardo is 4th. Joel Wraith is 5th. Scott Nalawi is 6th. Mike Dolling currently running in 7th. Of course, McMullet currently in 8th. Dylan Steinbach in 9th. And here's another new one for this week. Weatherman Simon Zierk in 10th. And, of course, Adam Barker in the Hello Kitty car. Mike Marshall in 12th. Avery Walker Avery Walker appears to be done with race number 1. Nick Sorensen still in the lead, but his gap to Hollywood now just half a second. Yuho back in third. It looked like it was going to be Avery Walker's day. 4 seconds was his lead when he went off track. Julian Ricardo currently up into 4th, and Joel Wraith currently in 5th. As they come down toward the chicane, you can see the speeds are running. Joel Wraith seems to be in the perfect spot. So as he comes out of the chicane, we'll take a lap inside the Lambo. Down toward the start-finish line. Crosses the start-finish line down toward turn 1. Tricky almost stopping. That is how slow that corner feels. Feel like you just came to a stop. Back down the hill. Drop down in the bottom, up Eau Rouge. Feathering the throttle just a little bit to hold on to it, and then down the long straightaway. Down through the tight right and left-hander. Oh, a little squirrely out of the corner, but gets a handle on it. Hard right-hander, downhill, and then the downhill left-hander. This downhill section notorious for causing the car to get a little bit loose on corner exit. But drive in too hard, the car will push. Quick downshift to pick up the momentum as he comes off the corner. And except for a few of the tighter corners, a lot of this track you're doing well over 100 miles an hour, even through the turns. As we get down towards some of the fastest parts of the track, you'll see just how fast these guys are going. Cuts down, gets the apex, drifts wide. And down through the highest speed corners toward the chicane. Hard onto the brakes into the chicane. Across the rumble strips, it gets a little sketchy there. A little bit wider, and then back down at the start-finish line. Nick Sorensen's lead still maintained at about a half a second. Giancarlo in second. Yuho in third. Just under 10 minutes left to go in race number 1. And everything went upside down when Avery Walker went to off the track. It looks like he is back out on track. There he comes back toward the start-finish line. Currently scored in 17th. Nick Sorensen about to have his hands full as Giancarlo has pulled back up to his back bumper. Yuho in third was gaining quickly on these guys earlier on in the race, but now there's a 3.3 second between second place Giancarlo and third place Yuho. Julian Ricardo currently in fourth, staying right in Yuho's tire tracks. Joel Wraith in fifth. Scott Nalawi in sixth. Mike Dolling in seventh. McMullet now up to eighth. Dylan Steinbach in 9th, and Simon Zierk currently in 10th. Adam Barker has recovered now to 11th place. 15 seconds is the gap from him to 10th. 15 and a half. I don't think he'll make it in the remainder of the race, but any mistake could put him back in the top 10. Meanwhile, Nick Sorensen and Giancarlo's battle continues, and I think Giancarlo might be having a little connection difficulty here today. He has blinked out more than we've ever seen him. Two minutes, 16 seconds a lap right now after 10 laps into the race. So about another 3, or this lap and probably 2 more. The highest probability for a mistake right there. Both drivers managed to hold on to it. Giancarlo trying to stay right in the slipstream and pull up. Several drivers talking about how pulling up through here is extremely easy, but once you get there, getting into this tight section of track, very, very difficult to get a pass. Juho and Ricard still going at it for 3rd and 4th place. Julian Ricardo has quietly got himself into the points battle here in recent weeks as well. Not the fastest out there, but definitely one of the most consistent, the fewest mistakes. That has him currently 5th in points. Sorensen still holding off Giancarlo, even pulling away a little bit. Now 0.7 of a second is the gap. There's also a battle going for 5th place. Scott Nalawi currently in 5th. Just got past Joel Wraith, moving him back to 6th. Brian LaRue has gone to pit lane, and I don't know what has happened. He hasn't had any off tracks or any incidents. So one of the 2 Mercedes currently sitting on pit road. The other Mercedes, driven by Juho today, in 3rd. Nick Sorensen starting to pull a bit of a gap on Giancarlo. He now has a 1-second lead. Giancarlo will obviously make up a little bit of ground down the straightaway. Maybe not. He was not close enough to get a toe off the Ferrari. Juho and Ricard still going at it as well. Scott Nalawi in 5th, still has Joel Wraith in 6th. Joel has been as high as 3rd today. Still holding on to 6th place, having a great run here. Mike Dolling in 7th, McCready in 8th. Dylan Steinbach in 9th, Simon Zierk in 10th. Adam Barker currently in 11th, and get this, we looked at Adam just a couple of laps ago, and he has gained over 5 seconds on Simon Zierk. Simon Zierk has not had an off track, has not had any issues. Adam Barker is just flying. Currently gaining roughly 3 seconds a lap. but not enough time, I think, to make it up. They should not get the white flag this time. There's more than enough time for one full lap, and no white flag. When they come back around, they'll get the white flag next time by. Giancarlo in second. That was 1 second gap still there. The battle for third between Yuho and Ricard. Yuho starting to pull away just a little bit. Nalawi and Joel Wraith still nose to tail. Mike Dulling back in 7th, pretty much alone. McCready in 8th, same situation. Dylan Steinbach in 9th also. Simon Zierk in 10th, still has a 10.5 second lead over Adam Barker. But what a recovery from Barker, and that is what kept him in the points battle last season, and I'm sure it will keep him in contention this season, just the way he makes a comeback from anything that goes wrong. Nick Sorensen might finally get his first win of the season this morning. I stand correct, his second win of the season. Sorensen will come out of the chicane, get the white flag this time. After Avery Walker's dominant start to the Giancarlo, really his connection problems just got substantially worse. White flag is in the air for Sorensen. Have to wonder how much longer Hollywood will be able to stay in it. Will he lose connection in mid-race? Sorensen a little bit of a blink. Yuho in third place has opened up a bit of a gap now on Julian Ricard. Nalawi and Joel Wraith still going at it. Dylan Steinbach has crashed. Coming down through the... Oh, he just snapped. It looked like he might have been trying to go to pit road and gets the wall there. Is he going to back it onto pit? Nope. Obviously, Dylan having some massive issues here. He drops back into 12th. That moves Adam Barker back into the top 10. Obviously not the way Adam wanted to recover, but Nick Sorensen has a 1 second lead on Giancarlo on the final lap. Yuho has closed down to 4 seconds, but he will not have enough time. Julian Ricard in 4th, Scott Nalawi in 5th, Joel Wraith in 6th. Mike Dulling in 7th, McCready in 8th, 9th is Simon Zierk, and 10th is Adam Barker. Avery Walker got back out on track, currently in 16th. We'll look to see if he can make something happen in race 2. What a strange turn of events, the first 5 laps of this race. But here comes Joel Wraith through the final chicane. Giancarlo sent it in there, but it was not enough. And Nick Sorensen gets his second win of the season at Spa. Giancarlo comes home second to extend his points lead. Yuo in the Mercedes comes up to third. Julian Ricardo moves up to fourth, and I do believe is the biggest mover of the race after starting in 13th. Joel Wraith finishing fifth. Another solid race out of Joel Wraith. He just quietly sneaks his way forward. All the drivers getting off track now, getting back to pit road for their short break. Let's see if we can talk to a few of them. See if I can find third place Yuho here. Hey Yuho, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
A Mercedes today came as a shock, but you had quite a run with it.
Well, yeah, the Mercedes is the old family member, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm actually recovering longest sick leave and this kind of stuff, so I didn't have any practice, so this kind of thing needed to go with the car that I know on this track. So this was straight out of the garage and to the track thing. So just trying to keep it safe, basically.
Well, it definitely worked out. You came home third after starting back in 8th and managed to march past a lot of fast cars this morning. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun, really fun.
It looked like it. All right, go get some rest. You got a few minutes, then you go racing again.
Cheers, thanks.
All right, let's see if we can get a hold of Giancarlo. Hey, Hollywood, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
So how are you feeling about your new nickname, although you kind of earned it, always in the top 3?
It was definitely a nice surprise, to be honest. Yeah, definitely enjoying it.
I have to ask, how much more did you need, or did you have anything for the leader today?
Nick definitely had the pace. Yeah, he must have like negative wing on that car, because even in the straights, I was like barely catching him in the slipstream, ever so slightly in like sector 2. But yeah, no, he definitely had the pace over me for sure. Great race on his part.
Well, man, another top 3 finish. Obviously, the invert. Can you get through the field and get back to the front?
That's the hope. I mean, Spa is always a handful, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, man. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, let's talk to our winner. Hey, Nick, it's Doug. You got me?
What's up, Doug?
Hey, man, that was one heck of a win. And when Giancarlo says he can't pull up to you, that means a little something.
Yeah, I think I got the couple little spots. I know the tricks. So it's terrible that Avery disconnected. So, but that's what happens sometimes.
It does, but man, once it looked like you might have actually, once you got clear and got to second, looked like you might actually have had a chance to run him down. Obviously, if he had stayed in the race, you were gaining a little bit of time on him every single turn.
Well, yeah, that's good. I didn't notice that. I was really worried I wasn't going to catch him. But if you were looking at the lap times, yeah, maybe I could have. But I don't know. It's a tough race, and he's pretty good, so I don't know if I'd have been able to do it.
Well, man, you definitely had your second win of the season, and obviously the invert. Can you get back through the field and get another win, make it a doubleheader?
That's the goal. So we'll see.
All right, man. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, Nick Sorensen gets win number 2 on the season. They've got just over 2.5 minutes of warm-up time here to get a few extra practice laps in. You guys have just enough time to go hit the snack bar, get something to eat, get something to drink. While you're standing in line, hit the share button. There's still room in the stands for all your friends and family. See, the stands still have some spots. Both sides of the track, all over. Plenty of spots. Go invite your family and friends. few drivers out there. Jason Wahlberg. It looks like Ronnie Wimberly is going to make it into race 2. McCready in getting some practice laps in as well. Jason Wahlberg, it did not look like he had a ton of damage coming down the straightaway. I'm going to see if I can get a word with him because I'm really curious about what happened on lap 1. Hey Jason, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Doug.
Hey, I had a question we were all wondering about. That first lap, you're battling with Giancarlo, and then down the straightaway, you suddenly slowed down. It looked like you guys tapped coming through the corner. Did the car get damaged?
I don't think the car got damaged, but I got a massive slowdown for it, so I had to slow way down and let everybody by me.
Oh, and then obviously you get to the end of the straightaway, some problems in the turn, and that kind of ruined it. But it looked like you had a fast car. Can you come back in the second race?
I'm hoping so. Hopefully just starting the back means I can pass more people, have more fun that way.
That is definitely true. Good luck, buddy. Hopefully you get through lap 1 clean and make your way forward.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping to.
All right, man. All right, Jason Wahlberg, despite the early incident in race 1, still very positive. So hopefully he can make his way back toward the front. Looked like the Ferraris were the fastest in race 1. Will they be again? All right, race number 2. McMullet and Mike Dulling have the front row. Scott Nalawi and Julian Ricardo on the second row. Yuho and Giancarlo have the third row. Nick Sorensen and Simon Zierk on the fourth row. Joel Wraith and Adam Barker round out the top 10. Mike Marshall, Kevin Langhieri, 11th and 12th. 13th is Dylan Steinbach. Jason Wahlberg starting back in 14th. Ed Schiller, 15th. Avery Walker, 16th. Brian LaRue and Ronnie rounding out the field. And McMullet up front. You have to wonder if that gives him an advantage with the 7 extra horsepower of having a mullet, but you never know. Obviously, it has not been extremely helpful today, but starting up front, maybe on the launch, the mullet power will come into effect. Race number 2 here at Spa. Things are going to get interesting. Nick Sorensen won the first race, and it's going to get really exciting as he tries to come back up through the field. Have to mention Avery Walker starting back in 14th after being the dominant car early in that race, but having to disconnect. We'll see if he can make his way to the front, and can he win? Also, Adam Barker, who had the incident at the start of the last race, can he make a comeback here as well? They come out of the final corner. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away. And already Ricard was looking. Are they going to try and make it 4 wide? They're going to try and do 4 wide into turn 1. Adam Barker gets to go by up on the high side. He goes extremely wide there. Expect a massive slowdown, but probably a smart move by Barker. McCready out front, Doling in second. Now up through our room. Oh, it's getting very exciting back there. Oh, we've got cars sideways. Ricard was practically sideways. How he saved that is beyond me. Looks like everybody gets through the first section okay, although it looks like Dylan Steinbach got a massive slowdown. McMullet still in the lead. Ricard now up to second. Mike Dulling in third. Scott Nalawi in fourth and Giancarlo in fifth. Yuo is right with Giancarlo. We've seen this battle play out a lot the last 2 seasons. Avery Walker has crashed again. Oh, Avery goes around, just gets too much. Oh, Dylan Steinbach catches a piece of it. Joel Wraith has had an incident, and he has gone to pit road as well. Looked like he might have just made a turn off of pit road, or off the track. Good morning, Richie. David, they all survived turn 1. It was after that the problems came about. Simon Zierich up to 7th, Wahlberg in 8th, Kevin Langary 9th, Nick Sorensen in 10th. Back to the battle with Giancarlo and Yuho. This is a battle we've seen play out off and, well, pretty much on the last 2 seasons, but this season it has not played out much at all. These two have battled it out for the championship the last 2 seasons. Giancarlo's been running away with it this season. Yuho with the car change, being in the Lambo this season, trying to make up some ground, but obviously, as we heard between races, hopping in the Mercedes, an old family friend here today. Avery Walker appears to have retired after being one of the fastest cars on track. Adam Barker, due to that slowdown, has drifted back to 14th, but he is still within range of everybody. Should be able to make up a lot of ground here, and that is what he has done best those last couple of seasons. The bad luck he's had. Scott Malawi looking to the outside of Mike Doling, though. Power move on the outside, and he's going to take 3rd place. Moving Doling back to 4th, Giancarlo to 5th, and Yuho to 6th, but McMullet has a 1-second lead right now over Julian Ricardo. Scott Nalomi in 3rd, but can McMullet run away with it? He is actually pulling away. It looks like Mullet power has been activated. Scott Nalawi back in 3rd, Mike Doling in 4th, Giancarlo and Yuho trying to get past Doling. Can't find an advantage here. Looks like, well, the Mercedes does have the power advantage on these straightaways. As we saw to Yuho in the last race, the overall advantage goes to the BMW and the Audi today. Obviously, Avery in that Audi was dominant early in race 1. But BMW in the lead, BMW in 4th, and nobody can find a way around them. McCready still holding a 1-second lead. Down through the chicane. Julian gained a lot of ground in the chicane that time, though, 1/4 of a second. And look at this. Ronnie Wimberly holding on. It looked like he started from pit road. He is now back in 16th. Dylan Steinbach is on pit road after his earlier incident. And the fastest lap so far, no surprise, has come from a Mercedes. The Mercedes of Brian LaRue. LaRue back in 13th, but those Mercedes have been the powerhouse. They have the massive advantages on the straightaway here. They give up a lot in the turns, but if you can make something happen, like Yuho has today, look at this. Julian Ricardo goes to the lead. McCready now back in 2nd, Naomi in 3rd. Giancarlo has crashed. They are 3 wide down the straightaway. Giancarlo does it. Oh! I think there was some net code there. Did hear word there was a lot of netcode in the last 24 hours. It does look like a ton of netcode. Yuho was there to the inside, but there was a huge, huge gap. There was definitely a gap, and Giancarlo definitely gets the netcode into the grass. You know what, let's try and look at that from the chopper and just see how big that gap was. Down they go into the turn, and yeah, you can see there's a couple of feet there, but either that car snapped loose on him unexpectedly, or he got net-coated into the grass. McMullet still hanging on to Julian Ricardo. Scott Nalawi, haven't talked about him much lately. He's been in the top 10 consistently. All season long, but now here he is up battling for the win. Yuho and Jason Wahlberg battling it out. Wahlberg, interesting, has had a fast car all morning long. Dolling has definitely been consistent all day long, although losing a little bit of ground early on. And it looks like he might have a slowdown penalty. He is not at full speed. A lot of tire squeal out of those three cars as they come through that section. Ricard cannot pull away right now, but Scott Nalawi gets past McCready up to second. And Jason Wahlberg, who started back in 14th, already up 10 spots to 4th. If I'm Ricard, I am a bit worried right now. Simon Zierk goes wide as Yuho continues to fight with Giancarlo out. He has gone back a little bit. Simon Zierk gets by up to 5th. Yuho in 6th, Sorensen 7th, Kevin Langieri is 8th, 9th is Mike Dolling, Brian LaRue, who started 17th, now up to 10th. Ronnie has crashed. Same situation we saw in race 1 out of other drivers. Just getting too deep into that corner, getting too hard on the brakes, and going around. Yuho is losing spots. Oh, he went wide. He's got damage. Yuho has got significant front end damage. Let's see if we can find what happened. Oh, Yuho turns down, doesn't know Dolling is coming. Dolling had the line, and Yuho gets... That is how Dolling lost a lot of spots. And Yuho has significant front end damage. It's obviously affecting the handling of that car. He is now back in 8th. Julian Ricard slowly but steadily pulling away from Nalawi in 2nd. McCready in 3rd. Wahlberg back in 4th. Has closed the gap down and continues to march his way forward toward McCready. Sorensen now up into 5th. He's still got 20 minutes left and has picked up a couple of spots. Can he close up and pull off the sweep here today? Kevin Langieri, we barely talked about him in the first race, but here in the second race, he has made adjustments to the car because he is flying forward as well. He started in 12th, now up into 7th. Here's an interesting note. Every single driver, with the track limits that have been in place for a couple of seasons now, every single driver has had an off track. The lowest number of off tracks, ironically, comes out of Mike Dolling with 2 and Mike Marshall with 3. The highest number right now, surprisingly, coming out of Giancarlo with 15 as he starts to march his way back toward the front. Ed Schiller is around. Was that another instance of netcode? It definitely looks like there was netcode involved there. There was a huge gap between those cars. Julian Ricardo's lead now 1.6 seconds over Nalawi. McMullet still staying with him. Jason Wahlberg in fourth, and Sorensen continuing to close the gap. He's now 2 seconds behind Jason Wahlberg, and he is coming quickly. Last time by, Sorensen was over a second faster than Wahlberg. He was over a second faster than everybody in front of him. And 3 of the Ferraris are in the top 5. Got Ferrari, Lamborghini, BMW, Ferrari, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Mercedes, and Lambo as Giancarlo continues marching his way back toward the front, currently in 10th. But Nick Sorensen is the one to watch here. He has closed that gap down to 1.8 seconds, continues chomping away, and he is actually gaining on the leaders at the same time. The gap to the leader now just 7.6 seconds, where it was 9 seconds a couple laps ago. Does he have the time with the race halfway over to make his way back to the front? Julian Ricardo's lead now 2.3 seconds over Scott Nalawi. McMullet in third, still trying to hang on 1 second back. Jason Wahlberg in fourth, 2.8 seconds back. And Nick Sorensen currently running in fifth, 1.2 seconds behind Wahlberg and closing. Big wreck. McMullet tumbles end over end. I don't know that it's over yet. And Nick Sorensen's race chances just ended. Oh, McCready just gets too much of the rumble strip there, pulls out and gets Nick Sorensen. Simon Zierk manages to avoid. Yuho manages to avoid. Giancarlo almost gets a piece of it. And it looks like Giancarlo did have an incident a moment later, as he actually corrected, I think that was Kevin Langhieri. Brian LaRue's caught in that as well. Brian just tries to go wide and avoid the incident, sees it happening, goes around, manages to keep that car out of trouble, but loses a ton of track position. And where Nick Sorensen was charging toward the front, he is now on pit road. That top 3 can breathe a sigh of relief for the moment. Julian Ricardo's lead now over 2.5 seconds over Scott Nalawi. Jason Wahlberg has now made his way up to third. Simon Zierk back in fourth, and Yuho now up into fifth. Kevin Langieri in sixth. But not for long. Here comes Adam Barker. Adam comes by for sixth. He is 3.3 seconds back from Yuho. He is definitely out there trying to make up for what happened during race one. Langieri still up 5 spots from starting in 12th. Mike Dolling now up to 8th. Mike Marshall up to 9th. And Ed Schiller, despite the netcode bump he had earlier in the race, has still made his way up to 10th. Brian LaRue had an epic save, kept that car out of trouble, and despite the lost track position, still hold on to 11th. Hollywood now back in 12th. McMullet in 13th. Nick Sorensen on his way off pit road. He'll be 14th. Ronnie back in 15th. Dylan Steinbach, Joel Wraith, and Avery Walker, all three done for today. Lap 1 is usually the determining lap of a race as to who survives and who doesn't. Today it was lap 6. Oh, Ricard got a little too much of the rumble strip there coming through the chicane, but he makes it work. Scott Nalawi in second, unable to gain any ground, but Jason Wahlberg is now starting to march his way forward. He is in third. He is just 3.2 seconds behind Nalawi, and he is gaining on him. Last time by, he was over 0.3 of a second faster. Ed Schiller has crashed again. Coming through the chicane, Brian LaRue right. Oh, it looks like him and Brian get together. We've talked about the Mercedes having the power advantage. Obviously, LaRue gets on the gas a lot sooner than the cars in front of him. And unfortunately, Ed Schiller was the car in front of him. Jason Wahlberg, so far the biggest mover of the race. Started in 14th. He is up to 3rd now. 3.1 seconds back from Nalawi. Simon Zierk back in 4th and Yuho in 5th. And I think I just saw Yuho's back end kick out just a little bit. He might be pushing that thing to its absolute limit right now. Adam Barker back in 6th place after starting in 10th after the disastrous lap 1 incident in race 1. Now 4.2 seconds back from Yuho, looking for any chance to gain some ground here. Comes into today 2nd in points, but with Giancarlo struggling in both races, I say that Giancarlo got a podium finish in race 1, but struggling in race 2. That will make up for some of what Adam lost in race 1. Adam Barker took over 2nd in points from Simon Zierk coming into this week, but now Simon up in 4th place. He might reclaim 2nd place. The way this battle is going today, the points will definitely tighten back up. Julian Ricardo, 3.3 second lead. Julian has not had a win yet this season. He's been in contention more than once. Scott Nalawi in second, losing ground. Actually, this time by, he gained a couple of tenths. But Jason Wahlberg, he has closed that gap down to 2.5 seconds. Simon Zierk, 8.4 seconds back in fourth. Yuho, another 3 seconds back in fifth. Adam Barker, 4.3 seconds back in sixth. And we might be seeing a bit of a battle forming here as Mike Dolling in seventh, Mike Marshall in eighth, and Kevin Langieri in ninth, all within about 2 seconds of each other. Oh no! Langieri has gone around. Coming out of the corner, I couldn't tell. He might have gotten a little too much of the rumble strip there as he was getting on throttle. Let's try a different. I honestly don't think he did. I think he just gets a little too much throttle on and the tires break loose. Julian Ricardo now has that lead to 3.5 seconds. But Scott Nalawi's big concern is in his mirror right now. The gap down to less than 2.25 seconds for Jason Wahlberg. Simon back in fourth, 8.75 seconds back. Yuho back in fifth, starting to gain on him as well. And this has become, 7th and 8th has become a 2-car battle between Mike Dolling and Mike Marshall. Brian LaRue has recovered quite well from his earlier incident, currently in 9th, and Ed Schiller has had zero luck today. He has gotten net coated, he has been bumped, and he is still holding on to a top 10 spot. Julian Ricardo continuing to extend his lead. 5 minutes left. Wahlberg has closed the gap under 2 seconds. He should be able to get to Nalawi before the end of the race. Will he have the opportunity to pass him is a whole nother question. Simon Zierk back and forth has had a consistent day all day long, just quietly making moves toward the front in both races, currently running 4th in race number 2. Yuho back in 5th. Does he have more damage on the front of that car? Doesn't look like it. Nope, his car is in good shape. Adam Barker currently in 6th, 4.5 seconds back. Julian Ricardo, his lead now almost 4 seconds. Jason Wahlberg still trying to close the gap on Scott Nalawi. Lap 1 of this race went very, very clean, but everybody got through, no major issues, but then we get to lap 6 and everything went sideways. Massive changes for a lot of the top drivers, including points leader Giancarlo, who is now running back in 12th. Nick Sorensen, who has been the fastest in both races, won race number 1, but bad luck in race number 2 has him back in 14th. McCready, who was leading early on, ended up tumbling down the straightaway. And Julian Ricardo took advantage of the opportunity to open up a big lead. Now 3.6 seconds, and next time by, he will get the white flag. Yeah, David, that's actually something I'm working on implementing, hopefully before too much longer. Scott Nalawi currently in second, Jason Wahlberg in third, Simon Zierk in fourth, and Yuho currently running in fifth. In fact, if I get snowed in this week, David, I might actually get it done. Kevin Langhieri has crashed again. I could not tell if that was more netcode or if that was just getting on the gas. Based on what we saw out of Langhieri earlier, I'm guessing that was just on throttle too much. Let's see. Hard to tell on that one. Julian Ricardo, 3.6 seconds. He has slowed it down just a little bit, not pushing as hard. He knows he's got enough of a gap over Nalawi. Jason Wahlberg has closed down to 1.25 seconds. Simon Zierk now in fourth, Yuho in fifth, Adam Barker in sixth. Adam Barker has actually closed the gap on Yuho by 0.5 second over the last couple of laps, but just a little bit too late in the race to make a difference. What a comeback Adam has had today, though. And Julian Ricardo just picked up the white flag. He is on his final time around. Scott Nalawi in second, 4 seconds behind Jason Wahlberg. Can he make up the gap and take second here? After the problems in race 1, he made up a ton of ground throughout that race and continues trying to make up the difference here. Nick Sorensen has crashed. Oh, just way too much of the rumble strip, trying to get some advantage, and backs it into the fence. Heavy damage to the rear spoiler. Jason Wahlberg just can't seem to get close enough yet. Meanwhile, Julian Ricardo continues to march away, and Sorensen has crashed again. Guessing, hard hit. He ends up upside down and has to tow to pit road. What a heartbreak for the guy who won the first race and was all the way up to 5th and marching toward the front. Julian Ricardo goes through the chicane one last time. Down the straightaway, and Julian Ricardo will win for the first time this season at Spa. And he's giving us a little show while he does it. Nalawi finishing 2nd. Jason Wahlberg comes home in 3rd. Simon Zierk will finish 4th. Yuo holds on to 5th. Adam Barker will come home in 6th. Mike Dolling and Mike Marshall still trying to settle this one, but it looks like it'll be Dolling in 7th. Mike Marshall coming home in 8th. Brian LaRue looks like he has got 9th wrapped up, but Ed Schiller sends it down into that final chicane. Won't be enough. Schiller will come home in 10th. And the celebrations have begun. Let's see if we can get a word with Jason Wahlberg. Hey, Jason, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, that's got to feel pretty good after that first race to come back here and finish 3rd.
Yeah, it was a good feeling. You know, definitely first race, didn't go how I wanted, but second race, a few more laps. I think I may have caught Scott there, but it was good.
It looked like you were gaining a ton on Scott there for a little bit, but every time you get close, you crank it up just a little bit. You couldn't gain as much, but man, you had one heck of a run. At one point, you were running 1.5 seconds faster than the guys in front of you.
Yeah, you know, it's just, I don't know what it is, but this week, this track and, you know, this setup and whatever, it felt good to me this week, so I think that's what it was.
Well, it definitely paid off, man. 3rd place after that first race. You got to be proud of that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, let's see if we can get hold of Scott Nolly. Actually, don't see Scott available. We can definitely talk to our winner, though. Hey, Julian, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I sure can. Congratulations, man.
Well, thanks.
You managed to come through a lot of chaos in front of you and then just drove away from the field.
Yeah, I got lucky on some passes, but yeah, it feels good since that last week was really bad.
Well, it's definitely nice to make a comeback here, and once you got to the lead, you just kind of walked away. You finished with a 4-second lead there.
Yeah, it was difficult to stay concentrated with the Discord in my ears.
That can happen. I've been there myself. I have to say, man, your first win of the season, that was a pretty dominant win today.
Yeah, thank you, Doug.
Congratulations, man. Go celebrate, buddy. You earned it.
Thank you.
All right, that'll be it for today from Spa. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to come back tonight, 7:30 Eastern. BRR has the Cup Series tonight, I believe, from Richmond. So that's going to be some short track, leaning on each other, bumping and banging. It ought to be exciting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.